Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to Snack Thoughts. I say again, welcome to Snack Thoughts. And what is my thought? My thought on this podcast is ownership is the pathway to freedom. Again, the title of this podcast is Ownership is the Pathway to Freedom. And when I talk about ownership being the pathway, I'm talking about having a business and that enables you to produce or create resources for yourself. And I was just I thought about it for a minute, and there are some jobs that pay really well and even pay extremely high salaries with excellent benefits. But when I thought about it, it's like this. Even if the job does pay well, it's you still work for somebody else, and you don't own your time. Somebody else does. Now, let me say this. There are some people that are happy in their career fields and happy for to have a boss in whatever business or company that they work for, and there is nothing wrong with that. So I'm not knocking or discrediting anyone that is working for someone and that enjoys what they do in their career field. But what this podcast is just basically designed to briefly highlight that ownership is a pathway to freedom. Until you own yourself and your own time, you will never have true autonomy. And autonomy represents freedom. And when you have ownership, you truly have a pathway to wealth creation, and also something that you can leave a legacy on, or even pass down to your children, or even their children, or will it to whomever you will. But when you own yourself, means that you own your time. That means you set your own schedules. You're your own boss, and in some cases, especially with online, some individuals or entrepreneurs have been able to create businesses that they can operate anywhere they want to go in the world. But ownership is a big difference in earning a high salary and working for someone, and owning yourself, producing and generating your own money, or even having others work for you and produce for you. And there's different types of ways to become owners. I mean, one way could be real estate. When you own the properties. And now, obviously, there might be some that would say that, the real estate bubble is collapsing. And in some markets, it is, but in others, it's not. But the point that I'm trying to make is that when you own it, when you have ownership of it, and ownership of income producing assets that are making money for you, you own it. You're the boss. You're the one who's in control of it. And it's yours to do with whatever you wish. But when you have ownership, you own yourself. That means that you set your own schedule, you have your own hours. And what's the importance of having ownership? I would say the earlier you get ownership and control of yourself or your time, actually the better. Because when you have ownership, you can set off and do things that you choose to do. You can embark on other endeavors or even different goals, because you own your own time. And the old saying goes that time is money, and that money grows over time. So if you own your time, what does that mean? But yes, ownership. Ownership is truly the pathway to freedom. And I was thinking about that because I am obviously working on getting overseas. Once everything clears up and things like that, that's my intended plan is to go overseas. And so in some cases you may be able to do that with certain jobs, but in a lot of cases most people's jobs are tied to whatever country they're from, and a lot of times even the city or province that they may live in. But when you have ownership and you own yourself, you're free to take off and go, at any time and as you choose. And so what I thought about was, starting a business or reactivating a business that I haven't done in a minute, but it wouldn't allow me to take control of my time. And that's a beautiful thing. When you don't have to answer to a boss and you can set your own schedule, time is more precious and more valuable than money. When you have freedom and own your time, it affects everything from being able to spend time with your loved ones. It even affects the time that we have to take care of our health. When you on somebody else's clock and they have your time, they set the schedule and they basically, to a certain extent, have some control of your life because you're tied to that job in order to get that paycheck. But when you own yourself, you're not tied to any workforce or any system. You control it. And it opens up the door for you to do a host of different things, and the possibilities become endless. You can you go from just maybe meeting suspensions or deadlines to working on projects that you create. But yes, ownership. And that right there is true freedom. Ownership. Own yourself and own your time. And the true way to truly build wealth, obviously investing is one, but investing money goes over time. Actually being an entrepreneur and starting a business, is the way to produce wealth, or to own yourself and own your time. Ownership. When you own yourself, that's something nobody can take away from you. And it gives you limitless possibilities. And that right there is the track that I am on, ownership. Own yourself and own your time so that you can be set free. And it may not be for everybody, but I know this is for somebody. Somebody. Maybe some of you have ideas as an entrepreneur and you haven't stepped out and developed them yet. And as with all things, make sure you always have a plan A, B, and C. And you have to be, realistic about it. But there are some that have some that are entrepreneurs, and you guys just haven't stepped out, on it, or haven't taken time on that to build and bring that idea into fruition. So I just want to, those of you that are entrepreneurially minded, hey, start building it. You can build it while you're still working for somebody, and then once that idea or whatever you decided, whatever business you decide to start, once it begins to produce more enough money to where you can easily replace your job, or when you feel that it's enough for you, we all have our number, then you can let go of the workforce and you can finally have freedom. But that's all I have on this one. Nothing special, but just something really to think about. Ownership is the pathway to freedom. You will never be free completely working for somebody. You have to own yourself, and owning yourself means owning your time. Time is money. Own your time. And that's all I have for this one, guys. And And when I say God was talking about ladies too, and I want to thank you for listening and taking time to hang on out with me. But the name of this podcast is Ownership is the Pathway to Freedom. And this is my Snacks Thoughts podcast, so please subscribe to it. I also have an Eric Broadus YouTube channel, which is EricBroadus YouTube, or ericbroadusyoutube.com. So please go over there and subscribe to my channel and share it and tap that bell for future subscriptions, podcasts, and any other material that will be coming out. And for this Snacks Thoughts, you can find me on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Radio PBM, Spotify, Spreaker, and a host of other social media platforms. But thanks, guys, for listening. Peace out, and I will see you on the next one. Remember, own yourself, own your time. Ownership is the pathway to freedom. Peace.